Hi, welcome to Satin and Shimmer, Inside the World of Beauty. This is Shannon.
And Joy.
And we're here with Heather from Columbus Boudoir.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks.
And this is our 5th podcast. So if you're listening, hopefully you've listened to the existing first 4. And we're still getting our legs and our feet wet with the whole recording thing. So welcome again.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a little beauty chat with Heather from Columbus Boudoir. So where do you want to start?
Well, Heather takes people who are not necessarily models. And who would you say is your average client?
Now my average client is probably a woman similar to myself, actually, that's probably 35, 45 age group. Mothers that want to feel sexy again, and they want to do something for themselves, and sometimes it coincides with a gift that makes, their husband happy or whatever. But I do have women that do this just for themselves too. So I would guess that they're more, 30s and 40s age groups now that just want to feel really good about how they look and see themselves that way.
You're taking an average woman, and some of these women don't even realize that they're beautiful, of course,
Yes.
and giving them a glamorous and beautiful look that isn't their everyday look.
Mm-hmm.
And that, even though you're doing it from a photography standpoint, is beauty.
Yes.
So it's kind of like the red carpet of photography.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So we wanted to give our listeners some tricks of how they can look better in photos. What are some things that you tell people when they're sitting in a chair or on a bed or wherever you're photographing them? So let's say I'm sitting in a chair. What can I do in a photo to look better?
Okay. So if I would first have your posture, kind of a little more straight up, just kind of straight up. I probably say arch about 5,000 times in a shoot, because just kind of arching a little bit, not crazy amount, but just a little. It kind of pops your chest out a little bit, And the best thing you can do for your face is to have your chin out a tiny bit and down. So most people think, oh, if I have a double chin, I better raise my neck up. I better raise up. But that looks so bad.
Oh,
I completely agree.
Yeah. So point of view wise, the camera usually is above your eye line a tiny bit, or even, and you want your chin down a little bit. So anytime you're taking a picture, always point your chin down a little bit.
Interesting. I'm going to have to remember that for just any
Yeah,
type
and
of
never let
photo.
someone take a picture of you with their camera lower than your face.
Oh.
Okay.
Unless you're a model and they're shooting fashion way up, but usually it's even or higher, because looking up at somebody isn't as flattering.
So that's how they can make their posture,
And
their body, and their face, everything kind of come together. What if they're laying down? So I know you do like a lot of like bed shots for boudoir. So what are some of the things that you tell people for laying down?
Laying down, I tend to tell people, well, first of all, they're going to arch, because, just the posture of arching your back. And I almost always have their arms closer to their body. So I've had people think the opposite, like, oh, I have bigger arms, or I don't like my arms, so I want them out away from my body. That just looks terrible. So you kind of keep them in and touch your body and keep them close. If I do this, it's just kind of making me look bigger if I spread my arm out, as opposed to in. So that's
a great tip.
That's what I watch for.
That is fascinating.
Legs together, knees together, keeps it classy, and then arms in, closer to your body. It's always.
So we can all look like centerfold models
While
in
we're
our nests.
sleeping.
Yeah. So next
While
time
we're sleeping.
next time someone's taking a group photo, just sit, keep your arms in, maybe play with your hair.
Just kind of keep things compact is kind of what
So
I'm getting from
when
that.
I have a group photo, I always say that I'm Carney Wilsoning myself. So if anybody else is like around 40 years old or even 35, you'll remember Wilson Phillips.
Of course.
It was the 2 sisters and their friend, and of course their friend China Phillips was like the gorgeous blonde one. Then there was the cute redhead who was like medium size, and there was Carney, and she was a larger girl, and she would always be in the shadow or standing behind the other 2. So I was like, that's a good tip. I'm just going to Carney Wilson myself in this photo shoot. So I'm not saying I'm as big as Carney Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you hide yourself behind the shoulders of a couple other people,
I know.
It's very forgiving.
Don't wanna be-
That's my own secret group
Yeah.
shot trick. Or you don't stand in the front row.
Definitely don't stay in the front row.
Yeah.
You're pretty photogenic though, you know. Like
And a little bit sideways, a little bit side.
Always sideways.
Yeah.
Front on, I'm like wide nose, wide everything.
Just
No.
side
Oh,
shot,
yeah.
shoulder kind of, I don't know. Yeah, just got to think about that. But I always put my chin down in a picture.
Okay.
I've heard forehead forward, which is
Yeah,
kind of like
which
the
is
same
the chin
idea.
forward, yeah.
Yeah, and not in an obvious way, because I've seen people where they're like chin down, you know,
Yeah.
like so far, and
Yeah.
it looks like I'm trying to look skinnier.
Yeah,
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like fine line, right?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome tips. So then the next topic I wanted to go over, and it's kind of like everybody always talks about, you're on a desert island and you can only have one album or, you know, one beauty product. Well, in my desert island, there's definitely going to be more than one beauty product. And I've even said, I think this was in one of my very early blogs, I've said, I would just want like a tarp or like 10 tarps to lay out all of my beauty products on my desert island. So I could just like bask in their
That's
glory.
what you want.
Yeah.
Because I have some issues with hoarding beauty products.
Yeah,
Shocker, I'm sure.
yeah.
So if we were to say 3 items, which, my God, that's stripped down for me. And I know Heather is not a super high maintenance person personally, but just from your day-to-day, what would your 3 desert island items be?
Okay. Yeah, since I'm not high maintenance, I definitely, pretty much every day would be what I would take, which is like a tinted moisturizer with maybe sunscreen in it, right? If you're on a desert island.
Smart.
Anyway, tinted moisturizer and mascara and eyeliner, black eyeliner.
Ooh, right on. I like that.
I just love that. I don't know. I feel like it really makes your eyes pop, and that's what I always wear if I don't walk out of the house with anything else.
Especially if nothing else is really being played up. If you're not popping
Right.
with blush or lips, you got to have
Yeah.
your eyes defined.
Yeah.
How about you, Shannon?
Yeah, I was gonna say we should talk about what we would take. I would probably do some type of hair serum, like Moroccan oil is my favorite thing, so my hair didn't kind of shrivel up and fall off from being in the sun so much. And then I would say sunscreen and lip gloss. Lip gloss.
Over mascara.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because you
Yeah.
definitely like your mascara.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've thought about this a lot. Again, I know it's shocking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and my eyebrows are just, they're not good. And I hear this from my clients all the time, so it's not shocking. But when I start my makeup, and even just like a quick trip out to the store, my brows have to be done. I'm obsessed with doing my brows. And that would be number 1. So I guess like a brow pencil, I could probably get by with a pencil. Although I do put powder on top of it day to day to set it. And then I would definitely do concealer because I am like the queen of all dark circles. And mascara, because once you put concealer on, you need something to pop your eyes with. So I just load up on like 6 coats of mascara and Tammy Faye Baker my way through the island.
That's a good reference.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think of her often when I'm putting on more and more, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna
Carney
look like
Wilson, Tammy Faye Baker, you know, if you're listening to a beauty podcast, who else would you want to hear talked about?
Right?
My inspirations in life.
that. Funny.
And Heather and I had kind of discussed this before you got here, Shannon, and Heather was like, I don't know, if I'm on a desert island, I'm not putting anything on.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
okay, let's say
true.
that there's a red carpet event on this desert island.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm
Okay.
at the beach, I do enjoy just looking tan and having lotion and not doing anything, but I did that this week and my eyes just look so naked, you know, because
Oh,
so mascara would be good.
And that
That's
brought me
awesome.
to the other question that you weren't sure about,
Yeah.
which was confidence. So,
Oh.
like, what kind of things do you do, if it's beauty rituals or just to make yourself feel more confident? Because
Yeah.
obviously, if you feel like you look good, then you present yourself better and you just carry yourself differently.
I have to say, like thinking about it since we said that, probably my hair looking good is definitely one of those things. Because like if you wait and like say it's dirty that day and I feel like, oh, it kind of looks gross, you know?
Yeah, it makes
So-
you feel gross, right?
Yeah.
Like if your hair is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, so even though I'm terrible at doing my own hair, I mean, I think just having it clean and natural is fine, but when it looks really good, I feel much better that day, you know? And if I had other things, it would probably be a good tan, not over tan, but some color maybe.
agree.
Yeah, and then just, I don't know. I'm not really into fashion, but, you know, at least looking well kept, I guess, is the other thing, but, you know.
Yeah, I think so. I think looking good, I feel more productive when I have some makeup on, and my hair done. You know, I feel like I get a lot more done, and I just feel better about the day. I don't feel so sluggish and just sort of down in the dumps,
Yeah.
you know?
True.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good point.
What about
do
you?
think?
I would say like when I've seen photos of myself that I like, and it's always like, oh, I look thinner in that picture if I
Right.
like it. Like
Yeah.
those are always the ones that I like better if I look thinner. But a lot of times I feel like my skin looks clearer and I look thinner even if I'm not in my body, if I've just been exercising for like that week.
Of course.
And, you know, I'm really hit or miss when it comes to working out, and I'll go, you know, a month without hitting the gym at all, and then I'll get really into it for a while. And I feel like that makes such a huge difference in just like the clarity in my skin, the shape of my face. It's weird. I think that you can notice it too in other people that you know, even if they're not gaining or losing weight. It's just sort of
You just
like
feel better.
brightness
Yeah.
and and you feel like physically more energetic, which I just always feel like better. And a lot of times like your bloat goes down, so your pants fit better, and it makes you want to get out there and do more stuff. It's a good vicious cycle,
I know. it
positive
is.
cycle that
Yeah.
I got to remind myself of a lot of times.
I'm a happier person after a workout. I mean, I don't know, it just throws me off if I don't do something.
Do you do it early in the morning?
I do. I never
Yeah.
thought I was an early morning
Yeah.
workout girl, but now that have to be at the gym at 6, you know, to train people, like I'm just going to join you guys, or I'm going to work out right after you, because then I know I just feel better.
I need to do
Yeah.
that because the time I worked out at 5:30 or 6 before the kids and all that get up, you feel better and you know you're done.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
You
I'm
can't make the
sorry.
excuse
Yeah.
throughout the course of the
Right,
day,
right.
like, oh, well, now it's too late and I got dragged into doing X, Y, or
Right.
Z, so I can't do it
So
today.
morning is
You're right.
definitely it, and I just need to make myself do that.
Yes,
Totally.
for sure. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now we want to talk about flattering outfits for photography. And
Okay.
I know that you have your clients bring in maybe like 3 to 10 outfits. And I've seen quite the variety here where people come in with like 3 suitcases, and some
Oh, yeah.
people come with like a miniature Victoria's Secret bag and they
Yeah.
don't know what they're
I
doing.
know. I know. It's funny when it's all in a little thing and you're like, oh, okay.
That's it.
No, but that,
So what are your favorite looks that you know photograph well on everybody?
well, personally, I like lace, so I try to sway people towards lace. I hope it doesn't ever go out of style. I don't know, but since I
And
don't,
it's timeless.
since I'm not like style queen, you know, I just kind of go with what I think looks really sexy and good on people. So even if somebody is super thin, or if they have weight and they're trying to hide things, like a cute pair of undies and like a see-through lace shirt is super sexy.
Oh,
So
that
if we're
is.
talking for my photography, sexy is, I think that's good.
Yeah, we are.
Kind of like
Yeah.
see-through lace, sort
See-through,
of,
yeah.
like even if
Right.
it's here and there. Yeah, because it's a tease,
Yeah,
right?
so lace shirts, and I have a whole lot of them. I think those are great, and they can be baggy, they can be tight, they can be whatever, but like, so you feel comfortable, you're kind of hiding, but you're not. Those are my favorite things to wear for people, so if I can get somebody to do at least one outfit like that.
You know, it's funny that you said lace, because I feel like one of the most flattering outfits that I remember in my recent past was a lace dress, and it didn't hold up in the wash very well.
Oh,
But
yeah.
what I loved about it was that it was really form-fitting, but it didn't seem to show things the same way a lot of form-fitting things do, and it was a stretch lace.
Yeah.
And it's a really flattering fabric, because it does give you like a little sucking in without like being too clingy.
Yeah, yeah, it's so pretty, and the pattern's distracting, and you know,
Yeah.
things like that, so.
Confuses the eye.
I love lace, and I love sheer, like, just sheer things in general, because you can wear a bra and underwear, you could wear a sheer thing over it and kind of make it a little more sexy in a way, and you're hiding a little bit, and those are just keys for people. A lot of people want to hide something, you know.
Oh, of course.
There's so many insecurities and stuff, so, but I would say that it depends on the body type, and I usually talk to clients beforehand about that. If they
Okay,
have
so
any
somebody
issues.
who's bottom heavy.
Yeah.
What's especially good on someone who's bottom heavy and they're exposing their bottom half?
Yeah, I would say cheeky underwear are cute because they're not, I mean, you definitely don't want to go with like a total G-string or anything like that. Cheekies, something that maybe has a little like ruffles on the top part and then just cheeky on the bottom. It's really, I'm trying to think here. And if they have like what are those called? The baby doll type things where they can play with it, so they, it's just a little more flowy in the middle section and
a little bit more volume on the top part
Yeah,
to
and-
kind of draw the eye up.
yeah, definitely the ones that have bras inside them. But yeah, yeah. So you want to kind of accentuate their best features and not make a huge deal out of if they're what pair is that pair shoes? I'm not sure. But yeah, recently I had a client that was insecure about that, and we just had like a T-shirt that she played with a lot and like little cheeky underwear, and then she had I don't even remember what she had, but all of them were really cute. I think there was a baby doll negligee, and then the white sheet stuff we do is just like nude, which nude is easy and you're kind of covered, but
Yeah, you do some really great implied nude stuff where like you don't really have to expose everything, but
right, most people don't want to.
Yeah.
They want to hide their private areas so that if ever somebody saw it that like walked by their pictures, if they had an album, they wouldn't show everything, but
That's a good point.
so we try to keep it, and then there's a few that do nude, but not very many, so.
one of the things that I know some of the girls that maybe don't have as much lingerie have ended up bringing in that I thought was something maybe you suggested was like a white T-shirt or tank top. And as kind of boring or simple as that sounds, if you put it with a cute pair of panties,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually like, to me, like that screams sexy as opposed to something that's like, look at me sexy.
Right.
As
That's
opposed
the
to more
accidental
obvious.
beauty that we always go back to,
Yeah,
right?
we talk about the
Yeah.
accidental beauty in our other podcasts a lot.
Yeah, and it's just like, it just makes you look like you're not trying so hard, and you're just kind of like, oh, here I am, but I
Yeah.
look really good.
I think the guys, especially someone involved with that person, likes that more.
It's like girl next door.
Yeah.
Kind of like how all the guys go, I like you without makeup. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you probably never saw them without makeup.
Yeah.
They actually look
But
really
they-
different.
But they don't like over-the-top makeup.
Right.
More like mascara, basics, but.
Yeah, but they don't want them to look like a phony, like a, sort of like hustler, porn star version of themselves.
Yeah, I definitely don't like to do that, and with the makeup in
Yeah.
here. I'd rather it be popping eyes so that they really pop in the light, and then everything else is pretty natural.
Yeah.
Lipstick is pretty nude, but, there's all different styles that people like, so.
And then, oh, sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, that's
Shannon.
okay. I was just gonna say, so going back to what they would wear, are there certain colors that just
I was
work?
gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
Is-
So I personally like classic colors. I've found that most people lean to black. They want black. Black is great to do. One outfit maybe in black.
On all
Yeah.
skin types, black looks good?
I would say so. I mean, I can even think a really dark skin tone that would look cool. I mean, white would look really good with that too, but black I think looks really good.
Yeah.
I don't like fluorescents, and I know that they're out there a lot, and orange and pink that are yellow, all those fluorescent colors is not my thing, just because when I shoot that, the colors kind of turn iridescent almost. It's like a weird shiny thing that happens. It's just too much sometimes for the camera. I don't know, it's just strange. So it doesn't look that good to me. It's also not like a classic beauty type thing that's going to be like something you look at in 20 years and go, oh, that's so pretty. You're going to go, oh my God, why'd I wear that?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had that in the 80s, and now it's back, and it's like, oh gosh. So, I like blue and red, and all the basic colors are my favorites. to
Any
shoot.
particular type of blue, like
Navy,
aqua, navy?
Navy blue is
Cobalt.
really pretty. Yeah, just the really darker blues seem to be pretty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like you're kind of fading toward like the darker. more
Darkers or, like,
saturated
red.
colors.
Yeah, and then I do love like the natural colors, like a real pale beige color too. I could see that with like a sweater that's like kind of sloppy and beige, or light pink underwear.
I'm obsessed with like, I think it's this color here, like this peachy
Oh, yeah.
nude that my
Oh,
earrings
yes.
are.
Yeah,
It's like a rose.
and
rose
gray and nude.
It's almost like, yeah, that rose gold, and then I found out there's a stone called morganite. It's like that peachy, salmony, pale, and yeah, so pretty and soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of like bridesmaids are doing that kind of palette now too.
Yeah, so then if you go towards that side where a lot of brides shoot boudoir for their husbands. White is classic. And then those neutral colors that are real pale and maybe
Innocence,
gray. And, yeah.
right?
Yeah, and florals can be pretty if you have
I was going to
something.
ask about patterns.
Yeah, I like florals for maybe one look, just to kind of throw out a different look to it. I've seen, one of my favorite things is like a kimono or a robe that's florally, that looks really pretty.
I was going to say, it sees like on a bra to do a floral, like you would have to have a smaller print.
Yeah.
Because if it's a large print, you're not
Yeah.
really seeing the print.
Yeah, but like if it was like a sheer thing that was floral, that'd be really pretty.
That would be pretty.
Yeah. So, but keep it classy and neutral and
And then you
classic.
look back in
Yeah.
years and not be wondering what you were thinking.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I would say.
Shannon, did you have any other?
Yeah, so, well, I don't know, sort of changing things up a little bit. What got you started with Columbus Boudoir?
I guess about 7 or so years ago, I saw some boudoir photography from California, which they always do things first there, it seems like. Well, I mean, boudoir's been around forever, but I saw it coming back and wanted to practice and try it out, and I just felt like it was rewarding to do things for somebody to make them see themselves in a really sexy, beautiful way that they hadn't thought they could look that way. And with almost every woman that comes in and just is blown away by how amazing she looks, I think that's probably what keeps me going and really enjoying it, is that it's fun, it's kind of like rewarding and fun, and just I'm a perfectionist, so I like to make people look amazing, and I don't know, I've always enjoyed it. I've always been one of those people that stares at magazines of models and looks at stuff like that. So the beauty aspect of it, of modeling and making people look amazing, is what I really like to do.
And Shannon and I probably can relate to that in a way from a beauty professional standpoint, that moment where somebody sees themselves kind of with that transformation. I mean, live for that.
Yeah.
For the hug afterwards, like,
Yeah.
I feel beautiful.
I know, yeah.
And
then
especially, like, I
sometimes
didn't
there's-
know I could look that way. I love
Yeah.
that you said that, because that's
Yeah.
true. We hear that a lot. I didn't know I could look like this.
Yeah,
That's the
and
best
then they
feeling.
want to have lessons on how to do it, right?
Exactly.
Right. Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
It's like, tell me how to do that. Even though I've watched you guys for like years, I still can't do it myself. So a good lesson probably
Yeah.
is helpful. Yeah, so.
Well, that's why we're getting tips on photography too.
Yeah.
Well, right,
Yeah.
because I'm sure that I don't
Yeah.
see it the way you do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's coming from a professional's eye. I think that you look at photos much differently than, I do. I'm sure you look at the lighting and the shadows.
It's annoying
and-
because no matter what picture I look at, it's always the light. I'm looking at like what light, because I can see it in your eyes usually.
Oh, interesting.
But it's an annoying thing to look at a magazine and only be able to see.
But you're
The
a
lighting.
big posing person too. Like, you
Yeah.
have a really keen ability to help people with posing. I saw you mentoring, I'm trying to remember what her name was, another photographer, and I just was so impressed on the detail of your instincts for how to pose. I mean, even down to like the articulated fingertips and, just a slight turn or a slight bend of the knee. And it's just like those little details that nobody else really just gets. And I've worked with a lot of photographers,
Thank you.
but it's that kind of thing that like just really flatters women's bodies and makes the difference. And I think that's why your business does so well, is because
Thank you.
it's those little details.
Yeah, from being like a perfectionist and not really judgy, but like when I look at things, I see what's wrong with it or what's right with it, and like so when I look at somebody, I just instantly see where that needs to move and change, and then it'd be perfect. Yeah, so I try to do that, and I do like to teach posing because I think that can make or break somebody's pictures for sure. All these boudoir photographers are coming out of the woodwork, and they really all need to like pose better so that this woman that's trusting them gets really good pictures of themselves,
It is a trust thing too,
Yeah.
and I think that your whole experience is about sort of like making people feel comfortable. And I know that whenever people sit down in the chair, if I'm doing their makeup before a shoot, they're nervous before boudoir, and I try to encourage them and say like everyone's nervous beforehand, and then they feel like really sort of empowered and excited afterwards because of the experience that they've had with you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's good to have the time in the makeup chair and the hair because that gives them that hour for an hour and a half of just relaxing and
Yeah.
chatting and feeling glamorous by the end of it. And, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
It's-
you noticed that too.
yeah.
Like, okay, so I came in and I was wearing like, you know,
Sweats,
a jersey
yeah.
and jeans, and now I've got like glam, wavy, big hair and like a smoky eye, and now I've got on my lingerie, and I'm like, I'm feeling like a little transformation
Yeah.
here, and I'm ready
Yeah.
to see what I can do.
I know.
Well, see, and you're just so easy to be around, and you just sort of bring this level of fun, but it's also comfort, you know, just, I don't know, you kind of put that out there. So I think it just speaks for itself that your business is ever growing, you know what I mean, and not fading away. It just shows your professionalism, your work, and that you're
Thank you.
great to be around.
Thank
so.
you.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk beauty with us, and you know, hopefully this gives people some new insight when they're taking their next round of pictures,
Yeah.
or obviously if you kind of wondered ever if you could do boudoir, you thought about doing it, maybe it's something that you would consider now that you've kind of gotten inside the head of a person who shoots it for a living.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think everybody should have a photo session of some sort, whether it be boudoir or just like beauty, you know, because you want to feel amazing and look amazing.
I
and have
completely
pictures. You don't have to
agree.
go naked, you know.
And just capture that moment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're looking, you know, even if it's just now, you know, life flies by, so do it while you can.
And maybe
you'll
your
look back
LinkedIn
at that.
pictures shouldn't be you driving somewhere in your car.
Oh, or maybe not a boudoir photo.
Probably
just
not
a
a
few-
boudoir
Just a
photo.
headshot, gorgeous
Right,
headshot.
yeah, but
Yes,
yeah,
of
just, you
course.
know, look like a knockout.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Thank
hopefully
you.
you will join us again for our next podcast. And Shannon, any final words?
Well, let's talk about where we can find you, your website, and social media.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on pretty much everything you could be on, right? So with my website is columbusboudoir.com, and the blog is Columbus Boudoir blog, and I keep that updated a lot more than just the website, so you can find a lot there. And then Facebook is the same, Columbus Boudoir Photography, and Instagram is Columbus Boudoir. Everything's Columbus Boudoir.
All right.
Smart
well, it's
business
easy.
person.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shannon, what are your links?
All right. Well, you can find me at shannongoode.com, and
Good with an
I'll-
E on it.
Good with an E, that's right. And then Facebook is Shannon Goode Wedding Hair Specialist. I know it's a mouthful. I believe that's what it is, right off the top of my head. Or Running Hair Girl. And then where are you found?
I am stateofface.com or stateofface@gmail. And then I've got Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and such at Joy Hearts Hearts. And my Facebook is State of Face Makeup Artistry.
Perfect. And then if you have a chance, leave us a review so others can find us. And we will catch you next time.
Thank you for
Thank
having me.
you.